right, ladies and gentlemen. Norman, would you please come stand at the defense table with Mr. McNemerson? All right, thank you to the jury for coming. We'll get this started fast. We'll start with some statements by the plaintiff here, Mr. Dominus Vald, and then we'll kind of go back and forth. At the end, we'll consult the jury on whether Mr. Vald's allegations are true or not. And we'll just kind of go with it. Mr. Vald, come on up and tell us what this is about. Why are we here today?
Thank you, Your Honor. The warrant that was served against my fiefdom was very broad in its strokes and very open to interpretation and abuse of power by whoever may hold it. And I find it to be in a violation of Title I, Section 1 through 9 of Trapland law. The warrant was not specific in where it could search, how long it could search, and what precisely they were looking for. They say in the warrant that they were looking for Barry, but then King Casno was rifling through every container in the entirety of my land looking for any evidence of bees. But he was not looking for beehives, he was not looking for structures that would contain bees, and it seemed very weaponized in its use. I believe this is a massive overstep of any court that could ever exist in Trapland. That completes my statement, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Vald. We'll hear from the defense next, from the government. Whenever you're ready.
Very good. I'd like to call to the stand Casno 994, the server of said warrant.
Take the stand, thank you. Begin when you're ready.
Mr. Casno, do you remember the day that you served this warrant?
Not the specific date, but I do remember this day, yes.
You remember this occasion, yes?
Of course, yes.
Excellent. And on this occasion, do you remember bringing said warrant with you at the time it was served?
Yes, and I even could pull it up for us right now. It's in my ender chest.
At the time of serving this warrant, was the warrant presented to Dominus Vald?
Yes, it was.
It was. Your Honor, I'd like to enter into evidence the video of Casno 994's experience documenting his interaction with Dominus Vald.
What is the objection?
The objection is he brought up the warrant as evidence, then he wants to submit an outside video as evidence.
I didn't bring it up as evidence, simply setting up context.
I feel it necessary that the warrant and the video would be considered evidence. I mean,
Your Honor, should I get the warrant from my ender chest?
If I don't need it, but if one of them needs it, sure.
I was planning on submitting it into evidence after the video. It is part of the plan. I think that is a very necessary piece of evidence. I think the court and the jury does need to see a copy of the warrant. And thank you very much, Mr. Casno. And in this warrant, does it dictate any powers other than searching for Barry in evidence for bees? Could any evidence be reported to the king besides evidence of bees?
Now, this warrant is to obtain information about the whereabouts of Barry B. Benson. This is not about anything else whatsoever. It does give me unrestricted access to any and all locations, but what I am specifically looking for is Barry B. Benson.
So only bees can be, only a bee, specifically this bee, or a beehive, a place he could be in, is relevant to this warrant, correct?
There may be situations where something else might pertain to the evidence. You know, if we somehow know somewhere beehives were, and a player, excuse me, a person who was nearby, in the time that those beehives went missing, you know, they may have something to do with this. It may go a little bit broader than just looking for bees or beehives.
Well, what I'm trying to ask is, let's say you discovered stacks of TNT in an individual's chest during a search.
What's the objection?
I am wanting to know what the the defense is even alluding to, where this is going.
The extent of the
Well,
warrant.
The extent of the
Denied. Please
warrant,
continue, defense. Let's hear it. Let's see where it's going.
Would said findings be reported to the king based on the warrant?
I don't think that would be relevant, so I don't think that would come up. No.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'd like to further into evidence the video account of what happened. Mr.
Objection,
Casno,
Your
if you
Honor.
could prepare the stream
What's,
for the
I would
jury
like
in
to
the court.
cross-reference the witness before the prosecution just takes away this entire proceeding and just runs with it.
You will have your chance to cross-examine.
Is there any reason you need to cross-examine him before he enters the video and evidence and talks about the
Yes,
video?
Your Honor, and if I could just cross-examine him first,
Okay.
you will know what I'm going for.
Defense, let's let Mr. Vald examine.
Very well.
Question Mr. Casno real quick.
Mr. Casno, may I please have the warrant?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Unrestricted access to any and all locations and territories relative to the investigation makes sense. Full authority to examine, question, regulate, and direct all matters related to bees, beekeeping facilities, and sacred hives within Trapland. Mr. Casno, Section 2 states full authority to examine, question, regulate, and direct all matters relating to bees, beekeeping facilities, and the sacred hives within Trapland. So may I ask, why were you inside the keep of my castle in the capital of my fiefdom, going through my chests looking for bees?
Because I knew that if I were to find a beehive at your home, in your castle, that it would only make sense to have something to do with Barry. Because why else would you have a bee in your home?
That was not my question, Mr. Casno. My question was the warrant outlines beekeeping facilities, sacred hives, and matters related to bees. So why were you inside the keep of my castle?
Because
why would I have a beehive within where I sleep?
I was dealing with a matter related to bees. I was dealing with Barry B. Benson. He is a bee, and I was dealing with a matter related to him. And I feel as if there's a possibility that it could have been in your castle, a beehive containing him or him himself. So with that, I feel like it was under the authority of this warrant to search your castle, which it was.
And thus we cut to the heart of the issue. This warrant is so broad that you can go anywhere within my castle, to the point that I threatened to blow up my own home to stop you getting inside of the Royal Harkonnen Reserve, which backs my business and insurance company and is the lifeblood of my fiefdom.
That sounds like a home defense issue.
It is, which is the entire matter I'm bringing up.
All right, are you done with your questioning yet?
I believe I've made my point, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you both.
Should I I need to stay up here. Can I have that back?
Let's hear from the defense again and let him finish his statements from earlier.
Hello, I'm sorry, my mic was muted. I apologize. Mr. Casno, I'd simply like to continue by entering the video into evidence. Let's just see what happened. If you could prepare the video for the court and the court.
I'm sorry, are we watching? Is there not something specific you want to see from this video? This is a decently long video.
I'd like to see the beginning of the serving of the warrant.
Okay,
we'll start
I have that exactly right here. I will pull up a stream.
Okay, if I could direct the court's attention to King Casno's screen.
I have a quick question. Will the jury be able to address any questions to the prosecution or defense at any point throughout this proceeding?
I don't know.
You'll have that time before you vote.
Okay.
I think we can only talk to each other, though, right? I don't think we can talk to the.
I don't give a fuck about real life. I'm talking about Proudmoore Court.
Here we go. I'm starting.
Did you put those there?
Nope.
Damn. He's got a lot of tropical fish. That's sick.
Well, I am in the middle of an ocean biome, so... Why? You just brought 50 million dogs with you.
I was about to say, it looks to me like he's arriving with a military force at your front door.
Knock, knock, motherfucker.
my point.
Search warrant by his royal
Nope.
decree, your king majesty. Open the fuck up. I'm coming in.
You're not my
This is
friend. Go
not
fuck
putting
yourself.
you in
I'm
the
coming
position
in
that
right
you're
now.
not gonna
You
lie.
can check
Go
the decree.
fuck yourself.
You want the decree from the
You're
royal?
not my queen.
Rip
You're not my
dog right
king.
here.
Go fuck yourself.
No.
Read it.
Listen, read it. You need to read.
it.
You need to read it. Hold on, let me get my fucking dog that's about to fucking drown in your fucking house.
I hope it drowns. I hope it dies. Fuck you.
Bro,
Casualty
that's
due to
like that. I gotta
incompetence?
destroy your
I
shit.
don't
I'm
know.
Okay,
over
all
with
right.
it.
Yeah.
No, this is relevant.
We have to watch.
This is relevant. That's one of the Olympic dogs, bro. That sucks. One of the Olympic dogs. Well, now you're now.
There's that back.
Read
There
that
now,
so he gets
it.
Can we
That
skip
sucks.
this, he said?
So in other words, I'm coming the fuck in.
Search warrant.
Thank
Well,
you.
that sucks because I don't recognize your powers. So go fuck yourself.
Okay, buddy.
That sounds like a guy who's hiding something.
It sounds like I don't want my sovereignty trampled on by a foreign tyrant to me.
Sounds like you don't care about Barry.
Listen.
Dude gets so fucked up. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong one.
Hunter, I was genuinely on your side as this began. I want you to know this video has firmly
Don't do
cemented
this.
me as
May
your
I help
ally.
you?
I'm coming in. Do you want to read the warrant again?
Do you want to go fuck yourself? I do not recognize his authority over my kingdom.
Full authority to examine, question, regulate, and direct all matters relating to bees, beekeeping facilities, and sacred hives within Trapland.
Yeah, what
That
is
sounds
this
like someone that would have
bullshit
awful. If you're not willing to let me go in and look at your stuff, sounds like you have an awfully lot to do with Barry's disappearance.
Barry disappeared long before I showed up at this realm.
How do we know that?
It's for one of the first bees in.
And how do you know that?
And how do you know that?
Because you said yesterday that he fucking showed up a long time ago. Yeah, the texture's fucked.
The apple is huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
In your hand.
What do we need to see next?
Your Honor, I would like to go to the part of the video where he starts going through every single container I have. in
Well,
my
that's
pack.
essentially. I'll just keep playing it then. Lord Harkonnen, is it really important that we watch all of this?
I don't need to see anymore.
Okay.
I believe the jury is satisfied with the information we have been given.
Yeah, I think we're good. I'd like to make a few statements.
All right. All right. Make whatever statements you'd like.
Okay. Everybody off the stream back in their clients.
Yes.
All right, cool. It seems through the execution of the warrant may have been a little on the.
What the fuck was that?
Sorry, that was Will.
Oh, well, he just made it in the Trapland court.
Yeah, there you go. You're in the Trapland court now. It seems the serving of the warrant may appear a little harsh at the beginning, arrival coming up with a few dogs. So the question that the jury needs to deliberate here is was the serving of the warrant too harsh? I don't think the extent of its search, granted that we're just looking for a beehive here, it's pretty cut and dry. It could be in any chest. Nothing else is going to be reported. But the question the jury needs to deliberate here is was the serving of this warrant too harsh?
Objection, Your Honor. That is a leading. He is leading the jury to
Honor,
come to a
Your Honor.
decision.
Please finish your objection, Hunter.
That what he is doing is he is leading the jury to come to a conclusion that is not in line with what this lawsuit is about.
What do you mean?
as I stated when we opened, the broadness of this lawsuit, well, of the warrant, was way too wide in its power. Also, after reviewing the video, you've noticed the massive amounts of excessive force brought to bear when no force was authorized in the warrant at all. The warrant was used as a shield to defend.
Objection.
Tyrannical
What force
actions.
was brought on upon you?
You showed
No,
up
no
with
force.
5 dogs, full metal armor,
Hang on,
and a
Mr.
sword.
Casno. Mr. Casno, hang on. Did that conclude your statements on your objection, Mr. Hunter?
Who the hell is Hunter?
Mr. Vald?
Yes, Your Honor, that does.
All right. Well, Mr. Vald, you were told when you brought these suits forward that the issue here that's bringing us here today is not the validity or the structure, the encompassing of the warrant. If you brought something to this court, it is over the execution of the warrant itself. To say that it's too broad it's not something this court can decide. It was made by. We'll take a question from the gallery. Yes.
So I do believe it is appropriate at this point to clarify upon which what the jury is deciding, because this is the first time I am being told that the validity of the warrant is not in question. So please clarify what indeed we are here to help clarify and decide.
It is regrettable that that was not communicated to the jury box sooner. Mr. Vald complains of 2 things. One is the legality of the warrant itself and the brutality and improper execution of the warrant. Only one of those is eligible to be addressed by this court and to have a suit brought forward by it, and that is the improper execution of the warrant itself.
Understood. Continue.
Your Honor, I speak not to disprove what you had spoke. I say that the warrant was too broad in its structure, not that it was not legal, and not that it was not binding.
We're not gonna. I'm sorry.
It is just not specific enough to justify how the investigation is done and what precisely that is being looked for and what can be searched.
Thank you.
Because
defense, do you have something to say?
Yeah, I'd like to address 2 things. Mainly the statement that was, well, not mainly, but first of all, the statement that was just made. Yes, it is very specifically lined out in the warrant. It has been read to the court that it is looking for berry or beehives, areas that beehives may have been. It is very clear what this warrant is looking for. Second of all, I'd like to address the claim of lots of force being used. That's completely incorrect. No loss of hearts are seen anywhere in the video. Norman does not. I'm sorry. Casno does not swing his sword at Dominus Vald once. Nor do either parties take any damage from a player in the video at all. The dogs may be present. We all have pets here in Trapland. And I have my sword on me right now. It's a common hotbar item. So as far as these claims of excessive uses of force, that's what I have to say in regards to it. And the warrant is very clear about what we're looking for here. And that's all I have to say on that matter.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, to refute his point in Section 5 of the Trapland law.
No, sorry. You're welcome to.
I feel like we should have the 2 representatives here address the jury directly. Maybe if the jury has any questions like that, I think we should do that next.
Understood.
Mr. McMemerson, would you like to go first?
Sure. Overall, the state's position is that Casno was justified in his execution of this warrant. There was no usage of excessive force in this at all. Clearly, with my previous statements and in the video, we saw that neither party took any damage from a player, as well as the specific search of this warrant. We're looking for a long lost friend of all of ours. We're looking for Barry B. Benson here. It's not like we're going in and searching for your valuables. We're not trying to see how much money you have. We're simply trying to find someone who has disappeared a long, long time ago. A character that was very important to all of us, clearly very important to me, as I named my own pet after them. This is a search that's been going on for a very long time. That's a search that has been served very happily when presented on the doorstep of Blockasan and many other kingdoms throughout Trapland. In closing, I'd like the jury to remember that in the end, this search is not one of greed or intent, but simply the search for a friend. Your Honor, that concludes my closing statement.
Thank you, Counselor. Does the jury box have any questions for Mr. McMeanason?
I do not.
I personally have two, I believe. For one, the searching for Barry B. Benson. You were searching for a hive or Barry himself, correct?
Correct.
And Barry as a living bee, can he live in a chest?
Yes, he can. If a bee flies into a beehive and the beehive is collected with silk touch, you can toss that beehive into a chest, and whenever you place it back down, the bee is still in there. There is what is it, NBT data?
Something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Follow up question. Does that mean the second that Barry went missing, everyone on the server forfeited their ownership of all beehives they owned because they just might contain this certain bee?
Ownership? Absolutely not.
No, I mean, it sounds like if you would have found a beehive in Dominus Vald's possession, you would have confiscated it in order to determine whether or not Barry B. Benson was within.
No beehives have been confiscated in the process of this search.
That's not what I just said.
Would one have been confiscated if it was found?
It would have been placed.
Now,
Barry would have been released.
We're discussing the warrant itself.
Okay. Then I take a step back.
We have full procedures for this, though. I mean, we can say what would have happened.
Well,
you know,
okay,
he would have been placed on the lead, and the beehive would have been promptly returned.
Okay, understood. Secondary question: Do you not see approaching somebody's domicile with full enchanted armor weapons and armored dogs, 5 of them, no matter if anyone was harmed? I feel like that's entirely irrelevant, and that's something you're leaning on as a crutch. Do you not see that as a use of force in and of itself?
No, I don't. As a fully armored player himself, Mr. Vald would be very capable of fending off 5 dogs in Minecraft. It's very, very clear to see that Mr. Casno was simply bringing his pets along with a little possibly mob protection.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I got nothing else to say.
All right, thank you. Unless anyone else has any questions in the gallery, we'll let Mr. Vald make a statement.
I have questions, sort of, kind of. I just kind of want to know, like, if there are any, like, repercussions or, benefits that would be gained from somebody winning or losing the court battle itself.
Are there reparations on the table? Is that what you're asking?
That's a good question, actually. What is at stake here?
Well, sorry, unless you.
I think what the court has discussed is a fine for the officer presenting the warrant. Should he be found guilty of improper serving of said warrant?
Okay. May I ask one final question? I will stop interjecting. This is not the jury's place, I know, but I do have one final question about this entire proceeding. Will the validity of the warrant or the issuing of one kingdom warrants upon other sovereign nations ever be discussed? Or is that just not an item on the table?
I'll defer that to the head of the courtroom.
That is a great question, because we are setting a precedence here.
Looking King Fettuccine in the eyes.
That is not the issue on the table today.
That is what I am asking, and if you are not answering, okay, but I am asking.
I am not prepared to comment on that further. Then we're not talking about it today.
Understood. I take my seat.
Any further questions from the jury?
This guy's going to jail.
I do have one question.
All right. Okay.
Is there
One last
anything-
question.
Is there anything Mr. Casno would have done differently in the execution of this warrant?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Is there anything I would have done differently looking back now?
Yes, sir.
No, I think I handled it literally exactly how I wanted to in every single way. I regret literally not a second at all of any of it, to be clear.
I certainly would have considered
The drowning dogs.
not
maybe?
drowning dogs.
Oh, well, yes. But I mean, like, how I executed the warrant, not what happened to me, okay? Yeah. Maybe I wouldn't have brought, yes, my Olympic champion dogs, maybe. Maybe that was my one regret, yes. But in terms of how I executed this towards Lord Harkonnen, I would not have done it literally any other way.
Okay. I have no further questions.
All right. Thank you, Counselor. Mr. Vald, if you'd like to address the jury.
Yes, Your Honor. People of Trapland, you heard the defense wax on lovingly about emotions and finding lost friends, but this is not a question of emotion. This is a question of law. And the law states in Section 5, any person who intentionally or recklessly damages or destroys, defaces, or alters property of another without the property owner's consent shall be guilty of property damage. Section 7, any person who intentionally enters a property without permission or who remains in the property after being directed to leave by the property owner shall be guilty of trespass. I care not about the warrant in of itself, but the power that extends to it and the brutal actions taken with it. I felt intimidated when a foreign king washed up on my shores, dressed in plate armor, wielding an enchanted weapon, surrounded by 5 attack dogs in their own armor. So I'd ask for you to think about yourselves in my situation and how a precedent coming from this court case will affect you in the future. That is it. Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions for Mr. Vald?
I do not personally.
No.
All right. Mr. Well, all right. I suppose we'll take a vote now. Remember, you guys are voting on whether the officer acted improperly, too brutal, too mean, destroyed things. And if you could tell me exactly, be as specific as you could in your reading, I'd prefer that. Do we have something from the defense?
Your Honor, if I may, the jury should be given a chance to deliberate amongst themselves for a few moments. Should myself, Mr. Vald, and yourself mute our microphones for a minute to give them a chance to deliberate?
That sounds fair. Yes. Would the jury be up for that? Do you guys want to deliberate?
Sure,
Yes,
I'm
please.
here for it.
All right. I'm gonna mute and
Me too.
I don't know.
Okay.
So Hunter, you mute too.
May I give my 2 cents here? I
Yeah,
see this
let's
as a twofold win for Hunter, right? Here's why. For one, right, I definitely think that like the way he just went in and like came in with 5 dogs deep, like what the fuck, not intimidating. That's bullshit. You know what I mean?
I do feel like his language perhaps was certainly a little far and definitely on the aggressive side, particularly
that's
showing
what
up
I felt.
with
And they were
dogs and armored. Yeah, I can see
very
how that is an
demeaning,
intimidation.
very aggressive. It was 5. He showed up with 5. Well, but here's my other point.
He did. Now but that's just because that's
But
unfortunate.
he only lost them because they didn't start fighting. If they would have started fighting, they would have been aggroed and attacked. But okay, here's my other point. Whether or not he technically violated the law, are you guys okay with this? Like, okay, let's think about like OJ here, right? OJ definitely killed those motherfuckers.
Whoa, hold on. We're going too far out of it.
Let
Wait.
me finish. It don't matter though, because they needed somebody like him to win finally, right? So the jury decided that he didn't fucking do it, and he got whatever, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter, right? The whole point here is it was for a greater message. I don't think that they should have this power over us and be able to just come search us whenever the fuck they want. So I think we should stand for the homie, whether or not he technically violated the law.
I'm sorry to interrupt everybody. We will have one more minute of deliberations, and I will remind you that the verdict needs to be unanimous.
Understood. Okay. Now, but hold on, real quick. That's not what's on the table here. If we want to bring forth a class action suit against the validity of the warrant itself, I feel like we can do that in another time. But for right now, we just have to determine, was their power abused with the way that it was executed as written by the warrant itself right now?
Yeah, and truly he keeps saying, oh, this is a legal matter, but then he goes right into his feelings, honestly, rightfully so.
I think
why should those be on the table? If the reverence of Barry is not.
Okay, so how are you guys leaning on the vote?
I mean, I think it's very obvious.
Yes, I think
we know
Hunter
your
wins,
position.
but what should Norman lose?
Dave, are you in the jury?
No, we don't have say in
his
that.
voice
Thomas,
is like I got
Thomas,
voice of God talking to us right now.
Thomas, what do you think?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm the kind of person who would be a little on my back foot if there was 5 wolves and a dude coming up to me. But,
Okay. So that's 2 in favor of Mr. Vald. Let's see, Kaya.
I maybe on the second defense here. If it's strictly like a matter, no matter how loose it may be interpreted, he's stuck with it.
I have issues with the warrant, not the way it was executed. I'm also on that side. I am on the defense's side as well. So we have a 2-2 split.
all I'm saying is I haven't read all the laws. I play Minecraft, not courtcraft. I don't know, man.
The law means nothing to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 3 minutes since deliberations have begun. If everyone could return to their seats and tables.
Yes.
Mr. Archon, you've been acting as our jury foreman. Did you guys reach a verdict?
We reached an inconclusive verdict. We reached a 2-2 split, which I know is not what is meant to be happening. So, Judge, what happens at this moment?
You could not secure a guilty conviction.
No unanimous decision either way. It was I and Mr. Cage of the Kage in favor of Dominus Vald, with Casno, with old Swindler Johnny and Lady Oli over here in favor of Casno.
Well, I'm afraid if we couldn't reach a conviction, then we will have found not guilty on the government's side of things.
Your Honor, shouldn't this be called a hung jury, and a retrial should be necessary for the sake of legal stability throughout the realm? Not just, they couldn't come to a solid conclusion, therefore we're innocent?
Your Honor, I may second that motion, actually. I believe we should retrial this at a second date when we've had more time to prepare.
What the fuck are they smoking crack about?
Well, that's an interesting... I suppose we could do that. We can schedule this for a retrial.
Objection. We've been trying to get a fucking trial for the Michelle v. Harkonnen case for 2 years now. When is this ever going to happen?
She's just not going to show up, man.
That is a good point. It's not always practical to schedule future court dates.
Do we want to take like a couple minutes and come? No, okay.
Would you guys like to deliberate again?
Well, okay, jury.
We can.
Let me deliberate with the jury a little.
If you don't come back with a unanimous guilty, then it's settled today.
Wait. At least 3/4. Unanimous is
settled in what way?
I feel
Yeah,
like
3/4. May we do 3/4, Judge? This is not a United Kingdom, Judge. This is many separate
Fallen
autonomous
kingdom.
kingdoms coming together. Expecting this to be a unanimous decision is contrary to our existence.
I like 3/4.
No.
This
And
sets
yet
an
we
Oh,
see
fine,
the
fine.
problem.
Fine.
Okay.
God
I was about to
damn
go
it.
off. I was about to go off.
So it sounds like
okay.
you need to flip one vote, or we need to flip one vote.
Let me just put it like this, okay? I know we're being very, very legal, and I understand this about like how the warrant was executed, right? All I want you to do is just put I'm not trying to be biased, genuinely. It's just like whenever I think about it, it's just I put myself in the shoes of Hunter, and I can't.
Oh my god!
But understood, but think I would feel slighted. You know what I mean? Like I cannot help with that.
Oh, sorry. There's an attack on the court. Hold on.
How did that even happen?
Against us. Is that two different things?
Okay,
How did
so
that happen?
okay,
That's where I'm at. It's just I just can't help. I just cannot help but
so
imagine that's what's
Mr. Worley, I do 100% agree with you on every way you're feeling on this. I want to vote on Hunter's behalf. I want to, or Mr. Vald's behalf here, but I can't based on what the court is actually discussing here today, because the validity of the warrant is entirely off the table today. So it is entirely purely based on the execution. Whether or not the warrant was valid, it is entirely based on the execution of the warrant. And I feel like the execution of the warrant was done, albeit perhaps a little unprofessionally from Mr. Casno, well within the bounds of the warrant itself.
I
So,
understand this. I don't
That's
take up
why
any
I have to
more-
vote not guilty.
No, I understand this. I will not take up any more time. I hold the law itself in much less high of a regard. I am much more concerned about principle, and I think the principle of this is absolutely abominable. But that is why
I agree with that, Mr. Worley, and that is why I would happily co-sign a lawsuit against the kingdom in order to get the validity of the warrant challenged for all of our behalfs at a later date.
I like this compromise very much so. I will not change my vote, but I will I'm happy to let this come to whatever conclusion if we can agree on that.
Okay. Well, we need to change one of our votes. So if I agree to do that after the fact, will either you or Thomas change your? Mr.
mine.
Cage, change your vote.
Dude.
Whatever,
I don't mind changing mine, considering there was a loss of dog life, and the dog's life was brought, not taken. If that makes sense.
Fair.
Damn.
I refuse to leave the side of Hunter, or a Dominus of of King Vald, Lord Vald.
Well,
I'm gonna kiss you.
okay. Are we going? Do we have 3 not guilty verdicts and 1 guilty verdict? Is that correct? So we have reached a decision.
Crazy.
Foreman, come on
Mr.
up.
Worley, as you are the
delivered a
foreman.
verdict, and let me know.
Judge Fettuccine Alfredo, I believe that the court, through many compromises and intense discussions, 3 of us have decided that in fact the officer in question has not overstepped the bounds of the warrant given to them and had executed properly. I, however, wish to give a firm condemnation of what I see as a extensive overstepping over other kingdoms' powers on sovereign nations. And I just want to let that be known. So,
No. All right, Foreman. Thank you. Thank you. Please return to the gallery.
you hear this demeaning shit? Fuck this bitch.
All right. Thank you
We'll bring
to,
it.
to the,
We'll bring
to
it
the
back.
jury, to
bring
the attorneys.
It's fat fuck.
Looks like we've reached a verdict here. The officer is found not guilty. And if somebody would like to petition the court for something after the fact, they can do that. You're free
I
to
have
go,
one, Your Honor.
Mr. Casno.
I
Well,
have
hang
one,
on.
Your Honor.
We're
I have a
officially
Let
I
us
have a
take a
very important
recess.
petition right now.
court dismissed. Court
Yeah,
dismissed.
let's
Thank you.
dismiss the course. Allow me to take a short recess,
Okay.
and I shall.
If you wanna come talk to the judge, I'll be
Mr.
here.
Casno,
In
I still
quarters? Do you
feel
have quarters
slighted.
back there?
I challenge you to a duel.
We need quarters.
Chief,
Okay,
we gotta talk.
can I
Mm,
have a
okay,
brief
let's go
recess
downstairs.
to use the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just this is I would like this to go, off the record, but I am still asking you this in a professional capacity. But I don't need you to be a judge necessarily right now. But who decided that this court could make decisions for other sovereign nations? I don't remember the meeting, I don't remember
Oh,
the
you don't
treaty.
remember because they
Is
came
this
before
like a
you.
Berlin? Is this? I don't give a fuck. I came after you, so I'm separate. Like that's my point.
What-
Like what are we talking about?
Well, I mean,
like,
I
what are we
feel like that
talking
has to
about?
be that's. I feel like that's certainly something that maybe needs to be addressed. Maybe we need to have an accord of every nation agreeing to submit to this court, an international court.
That's what I'm saying. We need to have some rules and regulations because, as far as I'm concerned, I had a foreign power institute laws and regulations upon me that I had nothing to fucking do with. Who the fuck's Barry? You know what I mean? Like, he's a great guy. No one told me about him till they kicked down my front fucking door.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Are there?
This
I do have a question
is a
for
very
Mr.
large, consequential question that I'm not sure is best handled outside of a formal setting.
Says the man who benefits from this staying as it is the most.
He
Okay.
wears a crown upon his head so he can put a noose around our neck.
That is quite an allegation.
Yes,
I am much like you and every man.
It's an
If you would like to file a suit, you can formally submit it to me. We'll consider it.
So you can
We'll
investigate.
schedule it.
Yourself not guilty. He puts a crown on his head so he can put nooses around our
All
necks.
right. If you have no further business at the court is closed.
Hey, fuck you! You stupid.
Unless you have formal business.
Get him out of here.
We need to start thinking about some things, guys.
Casno, I challenge you to a duel. I still feel slighted.
Okay, how are we doing this? How are we doing the duel? Oh wait, hold on. Let me go back.
And we're
I
gonna.
don't think I hit it.
And we'll do it.
Well, because I remember you guys came to my house, and I was also pissed. I think Nora may have even killed me once.
Ooh. Now that would have been excessive.
Curtis,
force,
are you
most
questioning the validity of the warrant or the broadness of the warrant? Because, like,
Both.
we're fucking looking for
Both.
Barry.
Both.
Okay, well,
Well,
what's...
you should not be able to impose a search of Barry upon my kingdom. And the warrant was absolute fucking nonsense in the first
rain.
In
All
the
right.
rain.
Let's see this duel. Let's go. I have shit to do.
King Fettuccine.
3, 2, 1, go.
That is just bullshit.
Dude.
I said swords.
Okay. Hey, Connor, give me those shoulders back for a sec, and then this is it, for real. All right.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
Get him, Norm.
Hunter!
Get him, Norm.
Oh!
Good crits, Hunter.
Damn, big smoke.
Dude, threw the sword down. All
I
right, I'm
got
gonna
my
hop out of here, guys.
satisfaction.
I love
You got
all.
your
Good
status
night.
back?
Good night.
Wow. Norman, how do you feel after that? Oh,
Man,
he's up
Come
there.
on, bitch! Let's go, bitch! You scared? You gotta use the fucking sword, bitch! Aw. All right. That's a good place to end the video. Jonathan, what's the last thing said in the video? Say it right now.
Thank you for watching.